I want to talk about some things that happened to me, or one in particular thing that happened to me when I was a child. So, um, I'm 47 years old, and this is something that happened when I was 6 years old in school. And the only reason I'm talking about this because I remember hearing about a few weeks ago about the 12-year-old boys that assaulted the little girl, and they put rocks in her mouth. And so I just want to speak on something that happened to me when I was 6 years old. I just noticed that a lot of girls go through this, but they don't talk about it. And so many girls are like molested and they are assaulted when they were children, like in their homes, and when they grow up they feel like if you a woman that speak up against it or you say something, a lot of these women, they feel like you shouldn't say that or they will get mad at you because they have been assaulted or molested throughout their childhood. So they see it as something you shouldn't say anything about. It's like, why would you complain about that? You know, you should leave that alone. Or they just tell you that you're trying to get the man in trouble or the boy in trouble or whatever. Well, so this what happened to me. I had a I had a teacher. I was in sixth grade. I had a teacher. She was a older older white lady. She probably was like in her 60s. So, and I'm just saying, the only reason I believe she believes me is because she was a white lady, and no, they didn't. Like during that time, they didn't grow up coddling black boys or black men like they do now. But anyway, so this what happened. I was in my class. Was in my classroom. I was in first grade at this school, and I'm in Alabama. So our teachers left. Our teacher left, and we left. The children left. But obviously, these two boys were still in the classroom. Now you got to remember, it was like early '80s. So the things they did then, they don't. The thing they did now they don't do then. Like she probably didn't do a head count. She probably just said, "Hey, everybody, line up." I mean, it was so long ago, I don't remember. I just know I was in I was in line when we left out the room. And I had to go back to the class to get something. And, she told me I could go back and get it. I don't even remember exactly why I went back to that room. And so when I went back to the room, and I know these two boys was in it. I can't remember if they was in the room or if they came in the room after me. I don't remember. But I know at some point they were in the room. So I was at my desk, and I was in the front. I sat in the first row, and the first row was closer to the door, the classroom door, and it was close to the bathroom. We had a bathroom in that room, and our room was like it was an outdoor classroom, like it was indoors, but when you walk outside the classroom, we were like outside. We wasn't like inside the building. I guess you know what I'm talking about. But so I go in there and I'm doing whatever I was doing. So there was two boys. Um, I'm not gonna say their names. One of the boys, I remember well because he actually stayed at school years later. One of the boys, I think that was his last year at school. I don't remember seeing him after that year, but I'm not gonna say their names. So you know, I just say boy one and boy two. So I'm getting up. I'm leaving my desk or to get whatever I get, and boy one is at the door. He's being a lookout for whatever boy two is about to do. So I see them and I see him and they already clicked to me. They're up to something. So boy two, he started to grab me. Now these are 6 year olds or 7 year olds. He starts to grab me. Boy two grabs me and he's pulling me into the bathroom. Pulling me into the bathroom and I'm fighting him off. Now we're about the same strength at the time because we were the same age. So I'm fighting him off. He pulling on me and I have my pencil in my hand. And I'm having my pencil, but I wasn't trying to like stab him or anything. I just know I had my pencil in my hand. So he pulled me in the bathroom. I get a loose. I'm struggling. We're struggling. Then I get a loose. then he gets mad. He like lets me go. Then he grabbed my pencil, and this was a pencil. You know these little big fat pencils we used to have back in the day. I don't. They may still have them. I don't know. But it was one. It was like one of those fat pencils. I think there was like a number three pencil or something. I don't know. But he got mad. He grabbed my pencil and he threw it in the toilet. I remember that, and I was so upset. And the whole time, the other boy one, was still at the door as a watch. Like a lookout. So I left out, and when I found my teacher, when I can't remember exactly when I told her. I don't know if it was when we came back to the room, but I know I was telling. So it had to be when we was back in the room. So I'm telling her like, he did this, he did that. I didn't tell her every single thing. I didn't say he grabbed me, tried to take me to the bathroom. I just told her he grabbed my pencil out my hand and threw it in the toilet. And she was like furious. That's why I went back and said there was an older white woman. And she believed me. And I'm glad she believed me because to be honest, I hate to say this, but I think if she would have been an older black woman or a black woman, period, she would have just been like, oh, okay, well, oh, well. But she did not do this. She said something about it. And from my understanding, she reported it to the principal. She said something. So I don't know exactly what went on after that. It was so long ago. It was like 40 years ago. So, but she did handle it. She wasn't like, oh, I did. I honestly did not tell her everything. I never told her the other boy was a lookout. Even at 6 years old, I wouldn't even know what a lookout was. I know now what he was doing, but at the time, I just know he was at the door watching. It's like he was making sure nobody would come in. And these were 6 year olds. One was like attacking me, trying to get me in the bathroom, and the other boy was acting as a lookout. So I haven't seen these boys. Well, one boy, I haven't seen him since we were, since that school year. So he left and went to another school. I'm assuming. The other boy, I saw him. Then the other boy, he was bad because I saw him a few years later. He was still at the school. So I wouldn't be surprised where these boys are at now. They could be in prison, or they could just be, I don't know. But yeah, this is just my story of how I was like attacked. I never told anybody this. I never told my mom. I never told my dad because you already know. Like you're in the black community, you you say something, they're not gonna care. They're gonna brush it off and say, "Well, why you should have did." I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I don't think I told my teacher. If I would have known, she would have like cared like she did. And I guess I was ashamed at 6 years old. I don't even think I knew how to really explain it, like what was happening. But so I just told her, he got my pencil and he threw it in the toilet. He got mad because he couldn't he literally was like mad because he couldn't get me in the bathroom, and he got my pencil and he threw it in the toilet, and I left out the room. I got out the room, and this that was that story. And this was in first grade. I was in first grade. I was 6 years old, and these boys was the same age as me.